I set up my first psychiatrist appointment, I spent about 1 month of every single day calling up psychiatrists that were within the network that my healthcare has, finding out that the psychiatrists were either not practicing anymore, not actually accepting new patients, or fully booked for months and months and months and months and months. This is in California. I'm in California. Is where I am. Which is crazy because it should be very good here, right? But after a while, after calling and calling and calling, I finally was able to get an appointment that was in about, let's see, it was January by the time. So I started around December when I heard that I lost my last. What happened was my last psychiatrist was no longer going to be covered, right? So I had to stop going to them, and so to find a new one, I heard that in December, and I had to get a new one by I think it was going to run out around February. So yeah, I spent all of January calling, and I got an appointment at the end of January for May. So I ended up having to wait. Until May, and it was messed up. Yeah, it was months and months of waiting before you actually got in. And now that I'm in the system, now that I have the new psychiatrist, things are a lot easier. Things are all virtual now. I have a phone appointment every couple months, and check up. The psychiatrist that I have is very nice. It's very nice. It's just honestly that they're it's the insurance companies that make it such a big pain. That the couple of people who are accepting patients can't accept them very often. Alright, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we are stranded at sea today. But Moon Mars, we're doing voting today, Moon Mars. So about every 45 minutes or so, we are voting for the trigger that we're going to be doing next. We did trigger words, and for about 45 minutes, and now we're doing mic brushing, just relaxing with mic brushing. And then we're going to have another vote. Bredo, I'm glad that you're getting tested for ASD. That is autism spectrum disorder, for those who don't know. And for those who don't know, I have ASD. I am on the spectrum of autism. I always mention it, but there's always new people who maybe don't know. So, if anybody has any questions about that, getting diagnosed later in life, you are welcome. You're welcome to ask me. I've been diagnosed with ASD since I was preschool. I think it was around preschool. Oh, Moon Mars. Have you noticed, Moon Mars, how people ask me that every single stream? At least somebody comes in and asks that. Oh, thank you for following Censored Gaming. Scream into the mic. Hell yeah, Moon Mars. Hell yeah, that's $1 million. You can't say no to that. So, hello Riot. I have good news for you, Brian. I'm brushing the mic right now. I'm currently brushing the mic. That's my good news. I don't know how my white balance got messed up like this. There, that's better. Now I am properly white. I'm properly white. Yeah, I know the feeling, Bredo. I know the feeling. When are we gonna play Magic the Gathering again? So, Riot, we recently hit if you check up here, we got our bonus goal to get an ASMR stream tomorrow. An ASMR stream tomorrow. And we can that could be kind of anything. It can be kind of anything. And you know, I thought we had such a nice time doing some gaming streams and also playing and also doing like when we did like Magic the Gathering on Discord. We did a little Discord stream of Magic the Gathering. I thought, you know, maybe that would be a fun idea. Maybe that would be a fun idea if if we went and we played Magic the Gathering, and I did so in ASMR, and I kind of like just relaxed and you know, we did some relaxing whispering and put some cards down and you know, go find people who are going to have much better cards than I do and play like 400 cards right in a row, and we can be amazed at all the cards that they have and wonder exactly what's going on as we lose in spectacular ways. My fear, well, gotta be honest, I've been having a lot of I'm in public and there's COVID dreams. I've been having a lot of nightmares like that lately. I've heard that's pretty common. I've heard that's a pretty common fear that a lot of people have been having lately. Been getting very nervous about that. Getting, you know, just having anxiety dreams about that. It's the kind of thing where a lot of people post school will have school related dreams. So, you know, so it's like you might not have been attending school for maybe, say, 10 years or so, and you'd still wake up because you had some dream that you were, like, late for class, right? Or that you, like, you know, it could be a whole bunch of different things. For me, it's usually, like, late for class. That's usually the one that I have. And, you know, I haven't been in school for, like, 10 years, like I said, you know. So I wonder, how long are we all going to have COVID dreams? How long are we going to be waking up having COVID dreams? Maybe another 10 years. Maybe forever. Who knows? Hey, Marilyn. Hello, Marilyn. Thank you for following. Welcome to the Hell Zone. I think it is very stressful having those kinds of dreams. It's a slight comfort knowing that we're all having them, though. When I heard about how common it was, that literally everyone is, you know, having these stress dreams about COVID, it made me feel a little bit better. Like, you know, like it was like kind of like, hey, you know, like we are literally like all going through it. It's like a shared psychosis that we have. Like we're all dreaming about the same thing. You know, you have to find little ways of being like comforted, I guess. Dreams where I forget my shirt or pants, and you try to hide behind something, you just can't make it work. I think that I need to stop doing that, like starting a thought and then like as I'm taking a drink, because I can't like continue the thought while I'm having the drink. Anyway, I was gonna say, I think that relaxing with some mic brushing is one of my favorite ways of chilling out. I like doing that. I like listening to rain sounds or ocean sounds like we have right now, and mic brushing. I think those are the best ways of like when you're in your cool down mode, when you are trying to go to sleep, when you're trying to like literally like fall asleep when you're at that time. I think that's the best. I think a lot of the like tingly triggers, like we were doing before, like trigger words, those are good at making you tingle. Those are good at like if you want to like feel like a good tingles. And like they kind of make me feel tired. But I think when actually I'm trying to fall asleep, that this is the best. This is the best. Brett asks if it's kind of strange that you hope that they find something other than ADHD. No, isn't that what you're going for? Isn't that what you're going there for? Like, okay, so my friend, she is an adult woman. I have an adult woman friend who had not been diagnosed with ADHD, had not been diagnosed with autism. She was just going through life. She went to the same college that I did, and we are good friends. Over the course of our friendship, I spent a lot of time talking about autism. In recent years, I felt more comfortable speaking about it more, and as I did over a couple months of hanging out together, she started saying, "Hey, wait a minute, I have a lot of these same things too. I've had a lot of these same experiences as you. I've had a lot of these like worries. I've had a lot of these like social problems that have come up. Good night, Moon Mars. Good night to you." And then she was like, "Hey, is it possible that I could be autistic? Is that a weird thing to think?" And I'll tell you what I told her. And that's if identifying as autistic allows you to understand your experience any better, that is a great thing. That is very helpful for having a frame of reference for understanding why you do the things that you do in life, how you do things, how you think. Now, you don't have to get diagnosed to believe that. You don't need a doctor to tell you that. You can. You certainly can. And some people do. I think that is up to the individual themselves. Ultimately, she chose to talk to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist said, "Oh yeah, you are 100% autistic." Like it was like no question. So there you go. Like you see that sometimes it really can be. You are autistic. And I'll say especially for women. I know people who listen a long time probably are like, "Why are you repeating this?" I'm repeating this because it's important. You just wait till April. It's Autism Awareness Month. I'm gonna say it every stream. Women are always underdiagnosed statistically because people for a long time, thought that women couldn't be autistic. Women were considered they're just having trouble adapting, like they would be given all kinds of other explanations instead of saying something like, "Oh, they have Asperger's" or something like that. So there are a lot of cases where a lot of women who are around this age or earlier or younger are not diagnosed. They have been autistic their entire lives, but they've not been diagnosed. So I would say that tell people about how when I was diagnosed with Asperger's, like I said, which is now diagnosed as autism spectrum disorder, ASD, because, for a whole host of factors, one of which being that calling it something else made people believe that it was not part of autism, which it is. It's a different type. It's a different facet. It's a different place on the spectrum, right? That's the S. That's the S in ASD, is autism spectrum disorder. And also, in addition to that, the Asperger's doctor had ties to Nazi Germany, so, gotta get rid of that. Get out of here with that, Yes. The general support for autism for adults is zero to none. It's 0 to none, somewhere between 0 and none. If you look at a lot of information about autism, almost all of it is focused on raising autistic children, and very little for supporting yourself as an autistic adult and learning about your situation and learning about things. And, like I said, when April comes around and it is fully in the Autism Awareness Month, I'm sure I'll have a whole thing where I get into that. Hopefully we can, help folks out. And even if you are listening and you're like, none of this applies to me, it's just good to learn about it. Maybe you can help a friend you know. Maybe you know somebody who might be autistic, and, you might want to help them out with that. Maybe it just helps to know, hey, autism looks like a whole lot of different things. Autism can look like me, That's part of why I'm here. That's part of why I'm here on the internet, brushing a mic for you. Of course, yes, you have not missed the chance at all. Most of the time, autism is diagnosed as early as, like 3, 4, somewhere around there, which is when I was diagnosed. But it depends on your situation in life a lot of the time. Like I said, women, minority groups are often not diagnosed. The latter because of lack of access, right? Yes, autism has really been framed as like one thing, which is, it's really like kind of what a lot of autistic people try to get, try to dispel that. They try to dispel that, where they're like, listen, it's not all just what you've seen in movies, it's not all what you've seen on TV, it's not all of like what William Shatner says autism is. It's a lot of things, and it's very nice in a way to be able to talk about it, to be able to, have spaces where you can talk about it too. Thank you for following, Raylist. Thank you so much. Honestly, I wish Twitch had a tag for autism. They have tags for so many things. They don't have a tag for autism, where people, you can say, hey, this is a place where you can be autistic. I mean, you could be autistic in a lot of places, but you know what I mean. Where it's a place where you can talk about it. It's a place where people who are autistic are accepted, because there also is a good amount of people who don't accept autistic people. Sad as it is to say. If I could put a tag that said, hey, autistic people can come here and have a safe space and chat and join the Hell Zone, hang out with me, describes your life. You're a beautiful painting. You're a beautiful painting. You are a beautiful painting. You're all beautiful paintings. And autism is the frame around you that shows, highlights parts of you and says, this is why this is like this. This is why that's like this. Right? Learning how the sun works does not change the sun, right? The sun is how it is. Learning that the earth rotates does not change the earth. It gives you information and lets you learn about how the earth is. One thing that was helpful was learning some things that, my friend who was diagnosed, they were able to learn a lot of things in their life that they thought were normal. Actually, were not that normal. They learned that certain relationships that they had were different in her mind than they were in reality. It was very helpful, I feel like. Yes, you are right. You are right, girl. You're right, girl. That there is a stigma about talking about autism. There is a lot of stigmas about it. There are groups of people who treat autism like it is a disease to be eradicated. That feels terrible to have people talk about me like that. Such as William Shatner and everybody in the Autism Speaks organization, which is terrible. Don't support them. Yeah, and it does make a lot of people feel misunderstood. I feel like that there's so much that can be gained by talking about it more. And that's why, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I'm here. Why I'm here beating that drum, brushing that mic about it. And I hope it doesn't bore all of you. And I hope that if it does bore all of you, that it bores you to sleep. Because I'm brushing the mic to put you to sleep. My tummy grumbled. Hope that wasn't audible. That's one thing that I've noticed is kind of like every single ASM artist out there will always say something like that, myself included, because like you have the mic settings up so high that any kind of like sound is like audible, and it's like uh-oh, I can't control that, I can't stop that. But I should, maybe I shouldn't bring it up, because it's like whenever I'm listening, it's never a problem for me. It's never like something that bothers me. It's just kind of a natural reaction, I suppose, like a knee-jerk thing, like where you're like, you hear it and you're like, oh, I need to apologize for that. Also something from autism, actually. That part is more from a coping mechanism with autism, where as part of apologizing and getting very nervous and getting a lot of anxiety about trying to fit in and be normal the way that a lot of people, would like it to be, and so I always end up like apologizing a lot for my behavior anytime I do something that's different or strange. Like a lot of the time it would be like, if I make mouth noises, right? I would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't, I shouldn't be doing that. I enjoy ASMR because people don't mind quite as much. In fact, a lot of the time you ask me to do them. That's one thing that I like about doing this. But it is something that I would always apologize for, right? And as a result, I'm a very apologizy person. I'm a very apologizy, people-pleasy sort of person as a result of that. And a lot of it, it's kind of the source of my anxiety disorder that I have on top of it. Because a lot of people do develop anxiety and or depression who have autism because of coping mechanisms. People have found that there's nothing like inherent in autism that causes anxiety and depression, but it's very, very common for people with autism to have that. It's very, very common for that. It's mainly because of coping mechanisms and the way that we react and the way that people are treated. Depression a lot of the times can come from isolation, social isolation, things like that. That's pretty common, Bredo. That's pretty common, is to feel that kind of a disconnect with empathy. It's very common for people who are autistic to ask their doctors the question, am I a sociopath? It's like that kind of the way that like we've seen like the sociopaths like described on like television and movies. A lot of those traits can be there. And it can cause people to like ask those questions. I've asked that question. My friend who was diagnosed with autism asked that question. Like where it's like you're like I don't empathize with other people. A lot of the time I don't care. That is something that happens. What I've learned about myself is that I'm not a sociopath. Because this is actually in therapy, I talked about this. I asked my therapist, am I a sociopath? Do you think it's possible that I could be a sociopath? I'm just wondering. My therapist asked me, well, is there anyone that you love in your life? And I said, yeah, my partner. I love my partner. And then my therapist said, well, then you're not a sociopath because there are people you care about in life. There's just other people you don't care about. And you have a line that you draw. And it's just a question of where is that line? Where should that line be? Who do you care about? Is it big enough? Hello, Voxel. Hi. You see, Voxel loves everyone. That's where her line is. And that's a very big line. For me, I don't love everyone, personally. I don't love everyone. I changed. This is something that I cognitively have changed over time. As I've grown up, I've actually I think, of course you do, Voxel. I was just saying that because he popped in the chat as I was talking about love. I think, honestly, we all grow, and if we didn't, we wouldn't be good people. One of the reasons that I grew as a person is because I came to realize over a certain time, it's like, when I think of other people in the world, should I care, right? When I think of just other people, right? When I think about just, your fellow man in the world, right? Should I care? Does it have anything to do with me? When I was a kid, and when I was a teenager even, I would think, nah, I don't care. Who gives a shit about other people, right? If they're not in my life, if they don't affect me, why do I actually care what happens to people in the world in general? And as I thought about it more, and as I grew up and as I learned, I had different thoughts about it. And I grew about that, and I changed my opinions because I thought, well, if everyone in the world thought this way, how would the world be? It would be a pretty terrible place. It would be an awful place. That would be it. What if someone thought that about me, right? If someone didn't care about me, right? That would be pretty terrible. So I thought maybe that's one reason to change that, right? Also, I thought, hey, who are the kinds of people who share that opinion? Who are the kinds of people who think that way? They would be like the super rich billionaires who don't give a shit about anybody other than themselves, right? Then I thought, do I really want to be like them? No. Definitely not. I also thought things like, I learned about the kind of suffering that people go through in the world, and how kind of like that you don't have to just care about the general people as long as you care about the people who are down and out, I also think it is important, though, to care about the general people, though, because, hey, it's the human race, right? That's us. That's all of us. So, I think that if there are things that we can do that can benefit the human race, then it does benefit me, right? It still benefits me. Because I'm part of that. And all the people that I love are part of that. And all the people that I do care about who are down and out, who are marginalized, they're part of that. So that's kind of generally how I grew to kind of change that opinion about myself that I had. And I think it's been a good thing, like over the years I feel like I've become a better person for believing that, for having that kind of opinion grow into a better opinion. And it's the kind of thing where now I can look at people who have kind of the other opinion, where they're like, hey, anybody who, I got mine, and, screw everybody else, those kinds of people, I can look at them and I can say, well, I think I've been there. I know their thinking. I know what they're thinking about. I know why they're thinking it, and I know why it's wrong. Because I've been there, and I've grown, and I've become a better person than them. I can still be a bitter person. I can still be a person who thinks that they're better than other people. Even if I'm apathetic, I'm allowed that. I agree, Voxel. I agree. I'm glad that you're here, Voxel. I was sad when you couldn't find your headphones the other day, or they couldn't charge up. Because as you were typing that and you were like, I can't hear what you're saying, I was having like a meltdown because on the stream, the ship was burning down. I love the chaos too. I also love the chaos, I have to be honest. That part of me has never changed. People always ask, like the D&D alignment charts for real people. I always consider myself to be chaotic good. I always considered myself to be chaotic good, where it's like, I honestly, I don't care. I don't care how it happens. I want to do good things. I don't mind a little bit of chaos to make that happen. Hello, Sonic. Hello to you. That's okay, Bredo. You might be introverted. You might be introverted. I've on the stream, so forgive me if I've said this before and you've been here, but honestly, I think that people who are introverted, when they see other people, their social battery drains, their energy level goes down, and they need time alone to recharge. And people who are extroverted, when they go out and they see other people and they socialize, that's when they charge up, and being alone drains their batteries. It's all about what gives you energy, what takes energy away from you. And Voxel, I have wondered about, I think that evil in like the D&D sense it's like a fun thing to be, but I think that evil in the real world looks like a lot different. So I always feel like that anyone that I know and am willing to speak to as a human being would not be evil. You know what I mean? Where it's like honestly, like if we're actually talking about like where we would be in the world, it's like do you, like it's that line, right? It's like are you like good is us, is all of us here, and evil is Mitch McConnell. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Mitch McConnell is lawful evil. Yeah, antagonistic. I think antagonistic is fine. That's more chaotic than anything else. Maybe that's why you're neutral, right? Because you have a little bit of chaos with the lawful. Those are always fun to think about with folks. But I'm definitely always like the stick in the mud about it, where it's like I'm like, when I always talk to like my friends, they're like, oh yeah, I'm like this and evil. I'm always like, well, are you evil? Are you truly evil? I don't know about that. You're too good of a person. And they're like, I'm angry at you, but not all the way, because you said I was a good person. For folks coming into the chat today, who are coming in, we're going to have a vote in a little bit for what we're going to do next for ASMR. We're going to have a vote for what our next ASMR segment should be. We had 2 votes so far. We did 1 vote, and we did about 45 minutes of trigger words, which was pretty fun. And now we are on the part where we're doing about 45 minutes of mic brushing. Honestly, I get very into just like mic brushing and just doing it and brushing that thing. Where it's like I have to be torn away. I have to be torn away from it. Good night, Pluto. Good night to you. Good luck. Good luck. let's see. So the things that we have on the list so far for our vote, we have inaudible whispering. You know, that sort of thing. We have the tippity tappity on your face, the tippity tappity, the tippity tappity. We have the tapping and scratching of objects, the tapping and scratching of objects, such as Censored Gaming joined our Discord. Welcome. Thank you, Censored Gaming. And we have whispered affirmations as well. Not too unlike what we're doing, but more affirmation-y. Not more affirmation-y, of course. And giving you a haircut. Doing some haircut scissors. Doing some So we have plenty on the list. The way we're doing it is when we do the vote, I take the winner off the list so we can give others, a chance for victory. So in reality, it's like everyone's top four that people like. I think that's fun, a fun way to do it. So I think we can do that in a little bit. How do y'all feel about that? I don't want to cut our mic brushing short. Y'all can let me know whether you are in the mood for a vote, or if you're in the mood to continue for a little bit longer. We had some fun trigger words that people said. I did the wise thing of writing down a lot of people's suggestions because obviously they are ones that people like. I was happy to fill up the trigger word bag. Oh man, maybe I should do that one day. One day I should do that. We should get like a physical bag that I print out. Like print out a bunch of like slips of paper with trigger words written on them and we pull them out of the bag or something like that, or a hat. Pull them out of a bag or a hat. That would be a fun idea. I think the part about that doesn't make sense is that like also like having people just write down the words that they like probably is better as an experience. But who doesn't love picking things out of a hat? You just never know what's going to be in there. It's the original gotcha game. I'll put them in a tin. That's a good idea. Voxel, I'm sure you share this because of your passion for gaming objects, for tabletop objects. But when I used to play Magic the Gathering in real life, they always had little counters, like which would be like little plastic beads, not necessarily beads, but it's like kind of like a circular object, and they would all go into a satchel. You always had a satchel for them, and I would put them all in the satchel, and I liked making them like rubbing them around and making them make like little like rubby sounds that they make when you rub them together. dice. I would also do that with like the d20s that you had. Though of course Magic today is ridiculous. Like you can't use a d20 on that. Like people get like 400 life points or whatever.